Check, 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 check. Make sure this is working. All good. Okay. Well, I'm going to talk mostly to the people at home watching through the camera right now. I've got not as many people here in this room at the moment, but that's okay. You know, this is kind of how it goes and how things are in this day and age. So, well, I think I just heard the door open, so maybe somebody else is coming in. And we'll let some stragglers come in at a time. But welcome, whether you're sitting here right now or you're watching at home from the live stream. Hello, come on in. I have handbooks up here. You can take one, and then you can sit anywhere you would like. All right. So, welcome, like I said, to the Catechesis Orientation for the year of 2020 to 2021. I am going to, right now, take my mask off so that I am more easily understood. I am far enough away from the people in here that it won't be a problem. And that's much better. You also are sitting far enough apart from each other. You are welcome to not wear masks if you wish. You are also welcome to keep them on. I have no qualms one way or another. Hello, welcome. You probably want to grab a handbook real quick. Also, if you wish to sanitize your hands, you're more than welcome to. We have lots. As I was saying, this is the live stream for the Catechesis Orientation for the year 2020 to 2021. My goal is to be done by 8 o'clock at the latest. I'm certain we will probably be done before that. No questions there. What we're going to do tonight is I'm going to go over the Catechesis program. And some of you are very familiar with it, having gone through it before, although this year we are doing it quite a bit differently due to life being what it is. So I'm going to go over those very important changes that we've made to the program this year in order to make sure that everybody is safe and healthy, but we're still communicating the right information. If I have done this correctly, those of you watching at home, an email has just gone out to all of the families, which includes this handbook attached to it, so you can follow along this way if you wish. And everyone here has the handbook. We're going to go through the handbook. This handbook contains just about everything you need to know about this year. It is, of course, subject to change, just like everything is subject to change. For example, I'm looking at the front right now, and it says I updated it September 18th of last year. That's not true. I updated it today, so already I need to make a change. But we're going to go through this handbook tonight, and we will make sure that you are armed with the knowledge and information that you will need to have a wonderful year here in Catechesis. If you at home have questions, okay, the people here can certainly ask me questions at any time. If you at home have questions, I would welcome those questions, and if you're watching live, you can text me. I have my phone right here, and my phone number is now on the screen. You can text me your questions at any time, and I will get those questions, and I will endeavor to answer them as best I can. So if you're watching live and you come up with a question, I will answer it very soon. So again, my phone number is on the screen right now, and so write it down. It will pop up again periodically as you might need it, and we'll be able to do that. But I would like to say a quick prayer, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Let's pray. Lord God, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for bringing those of us who are here together safely. We thank you and praise you for the gift of technology, which allows us to have live streams, which allows us to communicate with each other over long distances. Bless all people who are watching this at home live right now, who are maybe watching the recording after the fact. And Lord, we just ask that you bless this year of catechesis, of religious instruction. We ask that you send your Spirit to be with us, to keep us safe, to keep us healthy, to keep us strong, and also to grow in us knowledge and faith, really important things that we need to know as we continue to grow and learn. Bless us this evening. Help us to get through the information that we need to get through. And in all things, help us remember you are with us every step of the way. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay. All right. I'm getting a message that maybe I can't be heard. I don't know if my person downstairs can hear me okay. We're going to make sure the sound is happening. Just want to make sure that it's going all right. Okay. I'm getting word that I'm being heard just fine by my sound operator at home. And so to the person who texted me, I'm not really sure how to solve the issue. I hope that maybe it can come through eventually. Let me just see what this message is. Please, and thank you for your patience as we work out some of these things. Some of this equipment that we're working with was installed today, so that's why it's a little bit nuts. Okay, the thing that says computer audio in does not have anything happening. What about the thing that says A10 Mini Pro? Does that have something happening on it? Yes, it does. Okay, that's the thing that should have something happening. So I don't know.
Maybe it's there and check the speakers on there.
Maybe, and they said that all of their volumes were up. So I would, check to see that your speakers are on. The other thing I'm going to do, I will check and see if I can hear it on my phone, if I go to my live stream. Yeah, it's working for me. Okay, so I'm sorry to that person who texted me. I hope that it starts working for you, or maybe you can watch the recording afterwards. But it does. Everything seems to be working on our end. So, okay. So if you want to, in the handbook to page 3. The first bit is the introduction. And what is catechesis? I use this word. Okay, now people are saying the volume just went up. All right, that's great. So maybe it went down a little bit. I'm glad you can hear me now. Thanks. So catechesis, I say this a lot. It means religious instruction given in preparation for confirmation. So people often think, wait, I thought this was confirmation class. You're not wrong, but I like to distinguish terms, okay? Confirmation is the thing that happens at the end, and catechesis leads you to confirmation, okay? What we do here is we start in 6th grade, and we take 3 years to teach about the church, to teach about faith. And this is a really important time, because during this time of life is when your faith students transitions from, I'm just doing it because my parents are doing it, or my guardians are doing it, or whoever, and now it's like, oh, I believe this. I'm doing this because this is my faith. This is something that is internalized in me. And so that can be a very, very confusing time. I'm sure even with like school and everything else, there's so much other stuff that's confusing, and your faith can also be a very confusing thing. So your parents understand this, and they bring you here. They brought you here to be baptized, or whatever church you were baptized in, and they bring you here because they care about you, and they want you to know the truth, and we are here to help guide you and help you to determine what you believe, and help you to determine, do I think that this is something wonderful that I can internalize in my heart. So you're no longer just mirroring what your parents do, but maybe it is something that is something that you now own. Sorry, an idea just occurred to me. I may not have changed the settings for when my phone number flashes up, and that's probably why you couldn't hear me. So my phone number is no longer going to be on the screen. Just try to remember it, or I'll mention it again later. That's probably what the problem was. Okay, so catechesis, all right? We're aiming at confirmation. What happens at confirmation? At confirmation, you confirm, that's why it's called confirmation, the promises made to you by God at your baptism, that you are a beloved child of God, that you have the Holy Spirit with you, you are saved, you are loved, all of those wonderful things, okay? And then you stand up and you say, yes, I believe this. I confirm that this is my faith. Okay? So, that's what we're aiming at. Also, I want to mention at this point, confirmation doesn't mean graduation. It doesn't mean I'm done with church. Okay? A lot of people, they've been going to Sunday school, and they do confirmation with me, and they get to the end, and it looks a little bit like a graduation, right? Because you're in a robe, and you kind of parade along, and there's a big fancy banquet, and it feels kind of graduation-esque. It's not. It does not mean you're done with church. In fact, quite the opposite. It means I have now said this is my faith, and I'm going to move forward with God at church into a greater and wonderful future. Okay? So, the goal of what we do here is to help make faith a firm foundation in your lives, students, or in your children's lives, parents. And it helps you realize that life lived with God is better than anything else. Okay? Especially now. I think especially right now in 2020, we need life with God more than we need just about anything. So I thank you for making this commitment to continue to be here. Thank you for continuing to come to church and worship and hear, because I think our faith is going to be the thing that's going to outlast just about everything else. In fact, 100% of everything else is going to fall apart, and our faith is still going to be there. So, thank you for continuing to do that. So, our overall program is in kind of three main components. If you flip over to page 4, this is where I'm at right now. We do three things here at St. James Lutheran Church that kind of make sure that this happens. Think of a three-legged stool, right? If you've got a stool with 3 legs, it's very sturdy. You'll sit on it, and it's totally fine. If you take away one of those legs, what happens? Right? You're going to fall over, right? You're not going to stay standing, okay? If you remove just one leg, the stool will fall over. In the same way, we have 3 components of our program, and it works best if you participate in all 3. Now, again, this year, it's going to be harder to do that, and you'll see why in a minute. But we're doing the best we can. We've made the best modifications I think we could. The first, and I would say most important, even they're all equal, but this one's the most equal kind of a thing, is worship life, okay? Going to church, okay? We require that students in confirmation go to church, okay? Regular worship attendance is extremely vital for spiritual life. I like to use this analogy, okay? Going to church is like plugging in your cell phone, okay? If you don't plug in your cell phone, what happens to it? Someone let me know. If you don't plug in your cell phone, what happens to it? It dies, right? You cannot use it anymore. It's out of power. It's just a dead brick in your hands, okay? Church is where you go to plug in your faith. All right? And if you don't plug in your faith and you don't recharge your faith, what happens to it? It dies. Same thing, right? Same answer. All right? Now, again, that doesn't mean that if I miss church 1 week, it's game over. No, that's not what it means. It just means regularly attending worship, making an effort to be there and hear from God, receive forgiveness of sins, take in all the things you need to take in, be recharged by seeing your family and friends. I tell you what, in March, when we shut down and couldn't do worship anymore, I was real low at that point. Like it was rough on me. And I'm really thankful we were able to do online worship, and I'm really thankful that right now we've been able to come back to in-person worship in a form. It's still not the best it can be, but it's better than nothing, and we're only going to keep getting better at it as we move on. And so please, please, please take advantage of worship on a weekly basis. And that right now, I've never said this before, but this year I can say this, that includes online worship, and attending worship virtually just as valid, okay? Eventually, you're going to have to make it back here at some point, and it might not be till a vaccine happens, and that's okay, okay? It is what it is, and everyone has different levels. By the way, I meant to say this. I don't know if I did. Everybody is at a different place right now with regards to COVID, and Some people are like, I'm ready, let's go, I don't even care about masks or whatever. Like, that's extreme. And then the other extreme is like, lock me in my room and like, I'm not gonna even go, like, just wake me up when it's over kind of a thing, okay? You're somewhere on that spectrum. And I am not judging you for wherever you are at on that spectrum, okay? And so I think that the program we've designed and what we're doing here at church respects that. And so if you're not comfortable with coming back to in-person worship yet, fine. And when I get to the class part, if you're not comfortable with the in-person classes that I'm going to talk about, fine, okay? I'm not here to like judge you because you feel a certain way because there's a pandemic going on, okay? I think that what we are going to do is very safe, and I will work with you to make sure that everybody stays as safe and healthy as possible. So I meant to say that at the top, I'm saying it now, but that applies to everything that we're doing here, okay? So if you attend worship and you attend just online for a while, awesome. You're still attending worship. That still counts. In fact, I'm talking to this camera that we bought specifically because attending online worship counts, and we want to make sure that it's as good as it can be. Okay? So worship is number one. Number two is teaching. Normally we have classes every week. It's not going to be the same. Okay? This year, regularly during the school year, lessons will be uploaded to the internet for students to complete at home. Okay? We are going to make use of Google Classroom. I'm sure you guys are probably sick of Google Classroom. Okay? But it's the best tool out there, I think. And the fact that you guys are already using it at school will help you use it with us. Okay? So we'll use that. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. But all of the teaching, if you only did the online lessons and you did all of those, you would get everything that you needed to get out of the teaching. Okay, so people who are not yet comfortable with coming to the in-person stuff will not miss any educational content. Okay? Again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so all of the lessons will be uploaded online. We'll use Google Classroom. There'll be a regular schedule. And you'll be able to complete them kind of at your own pace. So if 1 week your school has got you pretty overloaded and you're like, I can't get to the catechesis lesson this week, that's okay. It'll still be up. And then maybe the next week is a little bit easier, and you can knock out the last week and then the following week. I'm not putting hard and fast due dates, except for at the very end of the year, I'm going to be like, okay, you probably should have finished all of these by now. So you can kind of work at your own pace with the lessons on that, okay? There will also be, in addition to the lessons online, there will be times for students to meet together in person, and we will do so in a safe, socially distanced way. We will break into small groups. Most of our time together will be done in smaller groups of people, so we're not packing everybody into one big room. The most that we will do, so if I counted right, we've got 37 between 7th and 8th grades. And then 6th grade is only 8, and they're kind of their separate thing, okay? But so we'll have 37. This room, the capacity on this room is 52. So we can be all together in this room, spread out, and be fine. We won't be in here the whole time, but we'll start in here, and then we'll split off even that into smaller groups all around the campus, okay? And we'll, again, I'll get to that all in a little bit. But we'll break into small groups, and in 7th and 8th grade, you have your own small group leader, and they will help you. They'll pray together with you. They'll review what's going on. You can talk about them, about life and things and all that stuff. And I will hop around to all the different small groups as well, making sure that all questions are answered at that point, okay? So that's how the in-person kind of works. We'll explain that a little bit. The third thing, so we've got worship, we've got teaching. The third thing is service and fellowship, okay? We ask each student to choose an area in the church they would like to serve in. More on that later, okay? We are still doing service. There will still be opportunities to serve. Things like acolyting. You know, as we're still doing in-person worship services, there are still opportunities to do that. There will also be opportunities to do less around people service, okay? And so you can work on whatever works best for you. Also, normally we have events planned. We have fun events, we have service events. There's going to be way less of that right now. We can't do all of the things that we normally do, and it bums me out. I'm sad. There's still one for sure that we're going to do. I'll talk about that later. And then as we move forward, depending on what the state and the county says, you know, if things start to open up, we can maybe open up. If things shrink back down, we'll shrink back down. It's all set in jello, as Pastor likes to say, right? It's not, you know, it's set, it's firm, but it's pretty wiggly. So we'll do it that way, okay? So worship, teaching, and then service and fellowship. If you participate in all those three things as best you can, you will get what you need to get out of catechesis. Okay? Questions? No? Okay? If you want to text me a question, I'm not going to put the number up because the sound will go away, but 631-982-9082 if you want to text me a question. Okay? It's also in the directory, by the way. That's my cell phone in the directory. All right. So, we'll start with 6th grade. And I have 2 6th graders in here, which is awesome. I love 6th graders. And I have more 6th graders watching at home, I'm sure. The theme of 6th grade is the year of going to church. Okay? And so up till now, you 6th graders have been in Sunday school. And how Sunday school normally works, right, is we start up in here, and then you're here, and it's great and awesome, and then you go down to Sunday school, and then your parents come down and get you in the cafe after Sunday school's over, right? We are going to start teaching you about what it's like to be in church the whole time instead of going away to Sunday school, okay? Instead of me just like throwing you into it and say, okay, here you go to church, right? Like you're not used to going to church. You're used to going to Sunday school. So my job in 6th grade is I teach you about what it's like to go to church and to be a part of church. And that means that we teach you, like, well, what does this thing mean? Why do we do it this way? What do we do at this part? What do we do at this part? Why are the colors green and then blue and then red? And what's with the organ and what's with, you know, we go over all of that. And so it's less overwhelming for you. It's less, you know, like I'm used to Sunday school and this is completely different. We ease you into it over the year of 6th grade, okay? And so usually how it happens when we're not in pandemic times, we go 1 week you're in church and you stay in church and I give you something very specific to look at and read and take notes on, right? So let's say it's the confession, right? Like when we get to the confession, take notes on the confession and there are questions to guide you. And then the following week we meet together in class in person and we talk about those notes that you took and then I do a little bit of teaching, okay? That's normally how it works. We're going to do it very similarly, but with some allowances made for online kind of stuff, and you know, not everybody can make it to in person. Okay. So how it's going to work is, I still want you to go to church with your family. If your family, 6th grade, is comfortable coming to in-person church, you can go to whatever service you want. Okay. And that's fine. If you just want to do online, you can watch the live online worship live stream. Or if you're not watching it live, you can do it later after the fact. What we do is we take our service, we split it up into several videos, and you can scroll down the page and watch each video kind of in order and do church that way, okay? Whatever way you want to do church, you do church, okay? And that's how we're all operating right now, okay? So still go to church, but going to church might be at home, and that's okay, all right? And then we are still going to do in-person meetings kind of every other week, okay? But again, if you don't feel comfortable coming to that, that's okay. Like, that's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to teach at those, and I'm going to record myself teaching, and then that is going to get posted as the online lesson in Google Classroom, okay? So it will be, people who don't make it on a Sunday, or maybe you are comfortable and then one Sunday you can't make it or whatever, you'll still be able to get those lessons for the 6th graders at that point, okay? And that's how it's going to be. So I hope that eventually we can all be together all the time, but we can't do it quite that way right now. So if you flip over 6th grade, pages 6 and 7, this is the schedule, okay? Pages 6 and 7 are the 6th grade schedule. You see the date, you see the topic, you see exactly what you need to do, right? So you see today, 9/18, Catechesis Orientation. There was supposed to be an intro video uploaded to Google Classroom today. I didn't get that done because I was working with sound issues all day. So there will be an intro video coming to Google Classroom in the near future. And then the next 2 weeks, we'll have you attend worship. And then on the 4th, which is also, by the way, when the regular Sunday school is starting, our class also starts. And at 10:30, we will have our class across the street, and it will be about confession and absolution. And I will ask you at that time, on the 4th, about your notes about confession and absolution. Okay? So you'll, on Google Classroom, you'll get the notes, you'll get everything that you need, and you can take the notes whether you do it online or whether you come in person to church. And then we talk about it on the 4th, and then you look on the 7th, which is the Wednesday after. That's when I upload the recording of me teaching on the 4th. Okay? And then it goes back and forth like that as best as we possibly can. I have scheduled everything all the way through May 19th of 2021. So you can see all that stuff. A couple things to point out. Normally we do a Christmas pageant. Normally the 6th graders are the lead roles in the Christmas pageant. I'm thinking this year, I still want to do a Christmas pageant. My thought is this year we're going to film a Christmas movie and we'll let people watch it at home. So we're not packing everybody to watch a big play into the parish hall, but we'll film it so you can still, put on a really cool Christmas show. That's my plan. So we'll see how that goes. That's the current plan. So we'll do that. And then, passing through it, you'll see all the different times. There's all the different, holidays are on there. Christmas, Easter, Palm Sunday, all that stuff. And I, for the 99%, will not deviate from this schedule. Okay? If something has to change, I will let you know about it well in advance. This is a good time to bring this up. Most of you probably know my wife is pregnant, and we're having a baby in a little less than 2 months. So I think I have enough covered in November. So, there will be people who will take over for me for the in-person things. Worst case scenario, the in-person stuff will be canceled. It'll just be online. And I'm going to have all of that online stuff scheduled well in advance, so it'll post without me, and you won't have to worry about any of that stuff missing. So that will probably be the variance, if there's any in the schedule, is when I'm at home not sleeping. So, and that applies to both grade levels as well. So that's a good thing to know. But other than that, this is the schedule. This is what we're sticking to. Okay? So you can see that. And again, if I have to make any changes other than this, I will let you know well in advance. If things get better, let's say hypothetically, January 1st, there's a vaccine, right? And we start getting vaccinated and things start opening up better. I am still going to stick to this plan. I'm not going to change it halfway through the year if things start to get better, okay? This is still going to be the idea. If things get worse, we might have to think about, dropping the in-person stuff. If things spike up, we're all tentatively looking at schools right now and seeing what's going to happen, right? I am certainly willing to drop the in-person component, but the online stuff is going to, you'll still get all of that as you need to. Cool. I just got a text that said, awesome. Thank you. We're going to stick with this as best we can and make sure that we're going that way. Questions? 6th graders, you feeling okay? Yeah? I'm getting nods. You look sleepy. I get it. Long, sleepy week. I'm also sleepy. Okay. Thanks. 6th graders, you can screensaver for a second. Also, 6th grade families, normally we have the 6th grade parents attend a class called Getting Started. And what that is it helps you to kind of learn about the things that your kid's going to learn about, and you can get to know other 6th grade parents. It's just a little 4-week thing. Right now, we don't have that. It's not scheduled. Pastor wants to do one in the future, but we're kind of waiting to see how things go. So eventually, when we do the Getting Started, we will ask you to do that, but there isn't one right now, so that's okay. And we'll talk about service and fellowship. Okay, 7th and 8th grade. we are going to meet together every other week on Sunday nights from 6:30 to 8, or 6 to 7. I didn't change that. I got to change that. Okay? Note to self, 1 hour. Not an hour and a half, 1 hour. 6 to 7, beginning October 4th. Okay? Every other Sunday. Yes. Not every week, every other week. And I figured I did that because the pressure is less on these in-person things. I'm going to give people more time to do the online stuff. And again, you will have a schedule just like the 6th graders did, so you'll be able to see when all that stuff happens. The theme this year is it's kind of a walkthrough of the Bible. We'll start in Genesis. We'll go all the way to the end of Jesus' ministry, and we tie stuff in with it for 8th graders. The stuff we talked about last year with the Lord's Prayer and the Ten Commandments and the Apostles' Creed and stuff. That stuff ties to the Bible stories. So we'll read Bible stories, and it will connect with what you've already talked about. Okay? And 7th graders, you'll get the Bible stories first, and then next year we'll talk about those catechism things, and you'll look, oh yeah, that connects to that Bible story. So it's a 2-year program, so no matter which year you come in on, you get both of them in 7th and then 8th grade. As mentioned before, the teaching will be uploaded online, and I'm going to try to be as creative about it as possible. So sometimes you will get videos of me teaching, and sometimes you will get videos of other people teaching, so it's not just me the whole time. Sometimes there will be fun activities to do, like a worksheet or a game or something, or sometimes some other, creative things that all of us teachers are trying to figure out how to use Google Classroom with and do all of this stuff, okay? We're going to still try to make it as fun as possible, so you're not just staring at videos of me the whole time, but there'll be a variety of things. Then, when we meet together, starting October 4th, that's a time when you're getting that in-person connection. I really, really wanted to have something. What I missed the most when we shut down in March was we were doing the Zoom thing, and it was fine, but I really didn't feel like we were connecting very well. I just missed talking with you guys and hanging out and saying hello. So we'll get to do that, and we'll do the sharing of the highs and lows and praying for each other and checking in with each other, what's going on. If you've got questions about the online worship or the online lessons, you'll be able to ask them of me at that time. And we'll also have a couple of different activities that will kind of tie things together nicely. Again, if you don't make it to the in-person meetings, you won't miss that stuff. You can always ask me questions. You can always email me or text me. But these are just they're bonus things that I think really help build. Because a big advantage of church is being together. And we're going to do that as best we can while still making sure that people are safe. And so that's the plan of that. So when you come to in-person meetings, please bring your Bible and a writing utensil. And that's all you're going to need to worry about this year. That stuff. And like I said, everything you need to do will be uploaded to Google Classroom. Okay? If you flip to page 10 and 11, this is the schedule for 7th and 8th grade. Okay? So you'll see on, today is 9/18, Catechesis Orientation. On Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, 9/23, the first lesson will be in Google Classroom. Okay? And the lessons will be uploaded every week, at that point. As I said, you can work on them at your own pace. If you're feeling like you can do it right now because you've got school under control, great. If you're a little behind, that's fine. You can catch up when you need to catch up, okay? I will also be taking kind of the normal breaks of I don't think I have one scheduled to upload before Thanksgiving. Maybe I do. But like Christmas, there'll be a couple weeks where I don't upload any, Easter, things like that. So you'll be able to get all of those done. So the lessons are uploaded, and the in-person meetings are on there as well. And you get to see all of those different things. Again, I will stick to this as closely as humanly possible. If I need to make any changes, I will. I have also, again, scheduled all of this all up until May 19th, okay? And May 19th, I have said, all work due, right? So I'm kind of hoping that you finished all of the Google Classroom lessons by May 19th. That's before Memorial Day. which is earlier than we normally get done with. This, I think we have a little bit of a shortened. This has given us an ability to be a little bit shorter about it. But I think it's okay. So, and if you're not quite done by Memorial Day, just know I'm going to be bugging you. Be like, hey, get the stuff done. Get going here. Let's do it. Okay. But we're scheduled all the way out, so you can follow this schedule and add it into your calendars as needed. Okay. Questions? Billy, feel okay? Yeah, feel all right? Okay, you got to text me a question, 631-982-9082. You got to text me a question. All right. So, I'm now on page 12 of the handbook. 7th grade, First Communion Retreat. I always chuckle a little bit when I think about this. The First Communion Retreat was literally the last thing I did with last year's 7th graders before we stopped. Okay? And in fact, the now 8th graders are getting their make-up communion service pretty soon here in a couple weeks. Next Sunday. Good question. Do I need your school email for classroom? Good question. You should be able to join. I've given the class codes and the invite links in the handbook. So you should be able to join with whatever email you use for Google Classroom. And if you have trouble with that, we can work together. I'm figuring it out just as much as you are. So you can probably join on your end with the invite code that I have given you. And then if that doesn't work, I can try to send you that invite code via email. But try joining with the code first. Okay? Thank you for that question. All right, so 7th graders, First Communion Retreat, March 5th and 6th. We are still planning on having it, and we gather together in the parish hall. We receive the instruction. It prepares you to take communion, okay? We believe in the Lutheran Church, you need to be properly instructed before you receive communion for the first time so you know what's going on, okay? So we ask that each 7th grade student and at least one parent attend both sessions. We have a Friday night session, we have dinner, and we have the teaching time, and then you go home, and then you come back Saturday morning, and we have breakfast, and you get the rest of the teaching time, and it's like that, okay? So that's March 5th and 6th, 2021, and the First Communion celebration for the 7th grade students will be the Sunday after Easter, April 11th, provided we're still having church at that point. I pray we are. You must be instructed before you take communion. That must happen, okay? 8th graders, before you get confirmed, there are a couple things you got to do. There's a final project where you make a really cool looking art piece or whatever, something creative, and it's meant to have you display what your faith means to you. There's more details about that on page 15. Also, 8th graders, I visit you before you get confirmed. I'm doing this right now with the current 9th graders, and I've been jokingly calling them driveway visits. Normally I call them home visits, but not everybody is like comfortable with me going into their homes yet. So I'm like, okay, we'll do it outside. We'll do it in the driveway. We'll sit, 6 feet apart. We'll wear masks. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. But I will come and visit you, and again, that's just to make sure you feel ready to be confirmed, that you're like, that thing we talked about at the beginning, where you say, this is my faith and I believe this. Before you get confirmed, I ask you, do you believe this? Is this your faith? Are you ready to be confirmed? And that's all it is. It's just a conversation between the two of us. Usually I have a video component, especially this year. There's a couple of really great videos with the 7th and 8th grade curriculum. I probably still will, especially since it's online. I think we can make that happen. And we want you to go to worship and service and fellowship. If you attend worship this year, normally I ask all students to sign in when they attend worship. Right now, we're not asking just students to sign in. We're asking everybody to sign in if you come to in-person worship. So you can't escape it. You must, you must sign in if you come to in-person worship. If you go to online worship, I would like you to sign in as well. An easy way for you to do that is to leave a comment on the online worship or text a picture of yourself doing the online worship to me, and then I know, hey, they did the online worship. Okay? And then I will count that as you having signed in for worship that week. Okay? That way we make sure you're doing worship. Okay? And then, of course, service and fellowship. For you 8th graders, on page 13, this is what the path to confirmation looks like. Okay? At the end of this little rainbow path, you get confirmed. Okay? So we have orientation today. We begin classes, as in the first lesson is uploaded on the 23rd. You start working on your project next summer. You finish your project, I visit you. Confirmation for the current 8th grade class will be October 31st, 2021. Okay? That is, you get the special bonus of when Reformation Sunday actually falls on Reformation Day. Like that doesn't happen that often. So it's a really cool thing, and that will also be when we do confirmation. So October 31st, 2021, that is when the current 8th grade class will be confirmed. Okay? I'm going to say it one more time because this is like the most common question I get. So I want to make sure that I'm very clear about this. The confirmation date for the current 8th grade class will be October 31st, 2021. Okay. Questions? 631-982-9082 if you want to text me a question. Okay? I won't go too much more into detail about the capstone project because we're not there yet, but just know that the information about the final project is in there for the 8th graders as they need it and stuff like that. So I am skipping all the way to page 18 in the handbook. The brand new page that I put together today. Okay? This is our COVID-19 policy. Very important stuff. Okay? On page 18, you will see the class codes and the links for Google Classroom. Okay? If you download the handbook from the email that I sent you, you'll be able to just copy and paste that link into your browser and go there, or join with the class code. Okay? And the upload schedules. For 6th grade, the lessons are uploaded the Wednesdays after we meet in person. Okay? And that's reflected on the calendar. And then 7th and 8th grade lessons are uploaded every Wednesday, give or take, based on holidays and stuff. Okay? So you can always refer to that if you lose the class codes or you need the link again or whatever. You can refer to that. For in-person meetings, okay, for all students, all lessons are going to be online, as I have mentioned. If you are unable to or are not yet comfortable with coming, you will still be able to complete every lesson online at home through Google Classroom. I do encourage you to come to in-person meetings as you feel comfortable. Again, I believe that we really need human connection. We really need to be together, and I think it's extremely important. So as you feel comfortable, if you feel safe, please do consider coming to the times that we meet together in person. Also, I just miss you. Like, I want to hang out with you. I want to spend time with you. When you do come to in-person meetings, this is our policy, okay? Please ensure that you are not sick, okay? And even if it's not COVID, even if you just got like a cold, or whatever, just stay home. It's really okay, okay? I would rather you rest. I would rather you get better. I'd rather it not suddenly be something much worse. So if you are sick, if you have symptoms of anything, please stay home. It's okay. I will not be mad at you if you miss because you're sick, okay? Our meetings will last for an hour, give or take, okay? You guys know me and my times. I do my best. On Sunday mornings, it also kind of links to the length of the service. But they'll last for an hour. We ask that everybody present wear a mask for the entire time, okay? If you don't have a mask, we have tons, okay? We've got disposable nice ones that we can just give you every week. We've got reusable ones that you can take home and wash in a variety of patterns. Carol's got a huge bag of them. They're amazing. They're wonderful, okay? If you need masks, we've got them. We'll hook you up, all right? So we ask that everybody present wear a mask for the entire time. When I am doing teaching like this, I will make sure that I am far enough away that I will not be wearing a mask for that portion, okay? And it's like I will probably stand here, especially if I'm filming something, you know, I gotta be in view of the camera, right? But anytime that I am closer than 10 feet, okay, I'll put a mask on. I'll make sure, you know, I've got it right here just in case I needed to walk up to somebody right now. I will make sure that masks are on, okay? But that will be the only time I don't wear a mask is when I'm teaching and I need to communicate some clear information, and I will make sure I am far enough away. Pastor does the same thing at church, okay? He wears a mask when he's close, but when he's far away, he doesn't. Yes?
When you refer to in-person meeting,
Mm-hmm.
is it listed on the schedule as class? Beginning,
Yes, I think so. That might be my fault.
I'm just trying to make sure I'm following.
Yes. So on the 6th grade schedule, when it says class, that means in-person meeting. I should have changed that. That's my bad. Yes. I will probably update the handbook to make it say in-person meeting, because that can be confusing with Google Classroom and the lessons and all that stuff, I understand. So, yes, right now, in the current iteration of the handbook on the 6th grade schedule, when it says class, that means we're meeting together in person, okay? But I will update that and make that change. Thank you for that question. Appreciate it. I also think I had a question come in here. Video's lagging, really interesting. Well, it shouldn't be, but well, it is what it is. That was supposed to be fixed, but hopefully it's understandable enough that you can still hear what I'm saying, because the sound is more important than the video. Anyway, I'm back on page 18. Could be because of the reverb. Yes. Okay. So let me do this. Unplug the ambient mic from the digital mixer. Let's see. Is that this one? You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to do it this way. Let's see if that helps. Okay. Let me know if I just royally screwed everything up. Meetings will last for an hour. Please wear a mask for the entire time. If you don't have a mask, we can provide one for you. And what we will do is we will spread out and maintain space between all students and leaders the whole time. Even 6 feet, even while wearing masks, we will make sure we're spread out. When we do small groups, normally small groups are seated at tables. I probably won't have that. I'll probably just have circles of chairs that can be spread out enough that people can sit far enough away from each other and do it that way. And we can go in several rooms. If you haven't been downstairs recently, in the parish hall, they have built 2 new temporary classrooms for the preschool to give them room to spread out, okay? We can take advantage of those as long as we make sure that we're cleaning up after ourselves, and I will disinfect everything before preschool meets again and all that stuff. And so we'll spread out there. We could even go across the street. We can go, there's lots of spaces we can meet and we can be spread out on this church building. So there's that. So that's what we're doing. 6th grades on in-person meeting days, class days. We will meet at 10:30 a.m., okay? Please be sure that you know. Normally our services are at 10 o'clock. Right now they're at 10:30. We're doing 8:30 and 10:30 on Sunday mornings. That gives extra time in between the two to clean this room for the next group to come in, okay? So that's why it's at 10:30. If you come at 10, you got to wait a half hour. That's that's how that goes, okay? And we're not starting in here. Normally Sunday school starts in here. We're not starting in here. We will start at the multi-purpose room, formerly known as the youth room. It is the red door off of the big parking lot. When you go into the big parking lot, the really big one, there's a red door that leads into the church office building, okay? That's the now multi-purpose room, okay? And we will start there and we will end there, okay? So parents, if you're coming that day and you're coming to church, drop your kid off across the street with me. come to church. Then, when church is done, come back over there and pick them up from me. As of right now, there is no cafe. Okay? I don't know when the cafe is coming back. We'll figure that out. But as of right now, come back and pick them up from me in the multi-purpose room across the street. Okay? And that will be at the conclusion of the worship service around 11:30 a.m. Might be 11:35, 11:40, depending on things. Okay? 7th and 8th grade on in-person meeting days. Class will meet at 6 o'clock, and we will start in here. Okay? And like I said, in here, everybody can be sure to be spread out and sit, far enough away from each other. So we'll all meet together. Then we will split off and go into small groups all over the place, and those things will happen. But parents, when you come back to pick up your children, you can get them again from in here. And what I will probably do is meet you in the narthex to have you kind of sign them out, and then you can pick them up that way. We'll iron out how that all works when we start doing it, okay? But it will only be for 1 hour. It will be for an hour, 6 to 7 p.m., starting and ending in here, okay? So sixth grade, to recap, 10:30 to 11:30 over there. 7th and 8th grade, 6 to 7 p.m. in here. Yes, over there. Yes. 6th grade over there, 7th, 8th grade in here. Yes, in this room. We'll come back here. Yep. Good clarifying question. Okay. Any other questions? 631-982-9082. You have another question. Okay. So, and as I said, as long as things don't get worse, we're sticking to this plan. Even if they get better, we're sticking to this plan. Okay? If they get worse, I'll probably live stream another thing, and you'll watch that, and we'll see how it goes from there. But praying, God, listen, New York is in one of the best spots in the country right now, and I pray that continues. I pray that we continue to wear masks, be safe, keep everybody safe and healthy, and all this stuff. Okay. I talked about worship. The page 19 talks about worship. Please go to worship. That's very important. Even if you're not coming in person, please go online. It's extremely important to hear the word, to hear that you are forgiven and loved, hear that Jesus died for you, which is something that we say every single week here at church. So please go to worship somehow. Okay. On page 19, you see what our services are normally like. As I said, right now they're a little bit different. They're not, the 10:30 service is no longer the intergenerational service, because we don't start all together like we normally do. I'm praying for the day that we can start doing that again, because I love that. It's so much fun. But we're going to do the best that we can to make sure that every worship experience is uplifting and good for all people. So choose whatever service works best for you. Worship online at our website, scglc.com. And when I say that worship is required, people go, well, what does that mean? I'm trying to instill this as a habit in you, and I want you to make this an important part of your life. And so I ask, in an ideal world, we would all be in church every single week, and it would be great. Okay, that's a high standard even for me to live up to. Okay, and I work here. So I understand life is insane. It's even more insane right now. Please aim for attending worship, either in person or online, at least every other week, as that's kind of the standard that we ask you to hold yourself to. If quite a few weeks go by and I haven't seen your name on the sign-up sheet, or you haven't signed in, I'll probably give you a call, be like, hey, what's going on? We missed you at worship. What's getting in the way? What's happening? And again, this is just to help you out, to help you see the amazing things that are going on here and being a part of this church. And we miss you. We want you to be a part. Okay? So please try to worship every other week. In terms of service, okay, we still want people to be of service to the church. Okay? 1 Peter 4:10 says, as each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. Okay? We can definitely still use a lot of help around here. Okay? We're still doing a big a lot of things happening right now. So, something that we can definitely still do, as we have 3 in-person services, okay, is you can serve as an acolyte. Okay, if you are comfortable worshiping in person, and you want to help us light the candles, please do. Okay, please sign up to be an acolyte. That's probably the easiest thing you can do, is sign up to be an acolyte. Okay, especially right now, it's like way easier than ever before. So you can light those candles and be a part of that. We need the most help with that because, especially as not everybody's around all the time, if we only had like 5 acolytes, then it would be, they'd burn out really quickly, and then we'd just run out of acolytes, okay? If we had all of our students acolyte, we'd have, 43 acolytes. That'd be amazing. It would be really easy to just rotate in and out. So if everybody chose to acolyte, I would not be upset if that's what you want to do. But maybe you're not comfortable coming in person worship yet. I totally get that, and that's fine. So that's the thing. Another thing you can do is help be a reader at worship, okay? One thing that we have done, and maybe we'll do again, is we've had people film themselves reading the lessons at home, and we've integrated that into the online worship. Okay, so that's a way that you could serve and do a service thing and not be coming into the building. You could film yourself reading at home, right? That's the thing you do. The music groups, okay? Right now they're not happening really, but Christine, our music director, I know wants music to happen. One thing we're not doing right now in church is we're not singing. We're not having everybody in church sing. Just the risk is too high at this point. So what we are doing is we're having kind of small ensembles provide some music so they spread out up here all around, so they're not close to one another, but they can still sing together. And that's a nice thing. So if you felt like you wanted to maybe provide some small ensemble music, if you play an instrument or you sing or something, that would be a great way to serve. And again, it could be something where you record yourself and you send it in. That would totally be fine. I'm sure Christine would love that, okay? That's another great way to serve, okay? More things if you are comfortable with coming to the building. We need ushers, and so we often have students usher with parents. We're not passing plates right now, so what ushering basically is signing people in, saying, hi, welcome to worship, here's, and checking them off on the list, and then dismissing for communion, and that's it. It's a really easy job, and you and a parent can do it together, and that would be fine. You could help serve on the altar guild if you're feeling bold, okay? The altar guild helps make sure that communion is ready. They help make sure that this church looks really nice, and that the candles are tall. Right now the candles are about medium. You'll notice that sometimes we get candles all the way down, and then altar guild replaces them, and they go all the way back up. So you could help on that. Again, we would want you to do that with a parent, and that would be a really cool thing if you wanted to help out with that. One other really big one that I'm hoping to get right now, with these online worship live streams and opportunities and stuff, right now it's a one-man show, and that one-man show is me. I need help, especially since in November I'm not going to be here for a few weeks, okay? If you wanted to be on the tech team, if you feel like you like computers and you like technology and you feel like maybe you would enjoy helping run some of this stuff, I could teach you how to do it, and you could help out by helping run the camera and the live stream and stuff, sending out app notifications and emails and things. And if you're, computerly inclined, you could certainly do that, okay? So I would welcome that help. Parents are also welcome to do this. Apparently my sound just went away again. Not sure what the deal is on that, but I'm doing the best I can. I'm almost done. I'm wrapping up. So if you missed something at the end here, call me later. Okay? So pick something and serve in that way. We'll try it that way. If none of these things work for you, you can talk to us about other things that maybe you can do to help serve, okay? Also, I want to make sure that the way that you serve doesn't prevent you from attending worship, okay? That's really easy right now because you can always worship online whenever you want. So if you're serving during the morning time or something, like if you're helping to run the live stream, please make sure that you're still worshiping in some way, okay? And then normally we have standalone service events. Again, like I said, we don't really have a lot of things. If you flip to page 21, normally we have this big calendar. Normally at this point in the handbook, you get a giant calendar, okay? I don't have that right now because we don't have stuff. The only things we have are your schedules for classes and online lessons and stuff, okay? So as of right now, I have one event scheduled. And that one event is the trunk or treat, okay? If you've not been to a trunk or treat before, we've done it for a few years. We are outside. People decorate the trunks of their cars, and the kids kind of go from car to car getting candy and things like that, okay? So that is outdoors. It's safe. It's social distance. You'll have to wear a mask, but, like, it's Halloween, so, like, wear a Halloween mask. Like, come on. Like, that's the easiest thing to do on Halloween is wear a mask, okay? That is happening. We're doing trunk or treat. It's going to be Saturday, October 24th from 2 to 4. That is the date for that, so mark your calendars for that. If your family wants to do a trunk, we would love that. If you just want to come by and help out, we're going to be kind of spacing people out. We'll be making sure that people have access to hand sanitizer at regular intervals. We'll be, doing all kinds of fun stuff. We're going to have live music this year, which is really cool. So that's our big event that we're doing right now, and that's the one we're doing. So I encourage you to come to that. Other than that, like I said, we're going to plan them as we can and do that. Okay? Questions before I wrap up. I'm almost done. There's a little bit here at the end. Okay. 22. I'm on page 22. Parental involvement. We do ask, this is a program that does have quite a bit of cost associated with it, and especially as we've had to make adjustments for COVID and things like that. So we ask that you help us. There is a $100 for the whole year fee that helps us cover the cost of materials and supplies. It helps us recognize the volunteers. It helps us make sure that this program keeps running, okay? We're not really asking you right now to donate a lot of stuff outside of that, other than your normal, regularly scheduled giving to the church. But this does help us to make sure that this program continues to run. If you are not able to pay this $100 at the time, I understand. Please speak directly with Pastor Neil about how we can help you with that. We want to help. We don't want confirmation to be a burden to you, and we can certainly do things that will help, okay? But please talk with Pastor directly if you have some financial hardship in that way. We will not judge you. That is not a problem. Just wanted to let you know. But we do ask that there is this $100 per student fee that we have, okay? So we have that. Some other ways that parents can help. You can be an ally, okay? I have a team of adults that help me out with stuff. They're called the Ally Team, which stands for Adults Leading and Loving Youth. Okay? If you would like to be on this team, we plan stuff when there's stuff to plan. So right now we're all in on trunk or treat. Like, that's the thing we're doing right now. As we go back into normal life, whenever that looks like, fundraisers and events and things, you can help us out with that. If you want to be on that team, please talk to me. I would always love to have more people join us for that. Okay? For 6th grade, I talked about the Getting Started class. Whenever we have that, we ask you to attend that. 7th and 8th grade, a great way to help is being a small group leader. I have 2 new small groups this year of 7th graders. I could use 2 new leaders at least, maybe 4 if you wanted to be fancy about it. What do you need to be a small group leader? What qualifications do you have to be a small group leader? You need to be an adult, okay, or at least have been confirmed. I have high schoolers often help me with this. I generally try to pair a high schooler with an adult if possible, just because having an adult presence is really helpful, okay? You need to be willing to ask questions, and you need to be willing to love your kids that are in your group. That's it. Notice I didn't say you need to know all the answers. Notice I didn't say you have to do a whole bunch of work prepping all this stuff. Okay, that's my job. Okay? you need to show up, you need to love on them, and you need to be willing to be like, hey, let's ask questions, let's find out, okay? If you feel like you can help me out with that, I would love your help. Please talk to me. Like I said, I'm looking for at least 2 this year. If you're interested in that, I could always use more. There's never not room for small group leaders, okay? And any events that we do, like I said, trunk or treat, you want to do a trunk, that's fine. Any events that we end up doing, if you want to help out at those would be great. The other thing that I haven't talked about at all, because we don't have any plan right now, is like trips. We often will go on like youth gatherings and mission trips and things like that. Right now, we don't have any planned. There's nothing planned. It's one of my favorite parts of my job is going on trips, and I don't have that right now, and it's a super bummer. But when we do, you can chaperone a trip if you want, and things like that. But thank you for your willingness to help out and your patience, and we know that we're all in this together. I got a text question for clarification. 7th grade will be 6 to 7 p.m. on Sundays. Correct. That's right. Every other Sunday, and you'll see the schedule in the handbook. Every other Sunday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. starting and ending in here. Hope that clarifies for you, the person who asked me that question. Okay? As you flip then, you've got the contact information, my email, pastor's email. I also put the newsletter email. We send out a lot of emails, especially right now. You want to make sure you don't miss those. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, our app. If you don't have our app on your phone, you should get our app on your phone. Those are all the great ways to stay in touch. And then I have the registration form, which you can fill out physically and bring to me or mail to me, or you can fill out the registration form online. There's a link at the top, which you can type into your browser if you want, or I just put it in the email that went out to everybody. Okay, so you can just click on it there. Okay? Yes. If you use the app for the payment, just make sure you designate it for confirmation. Yeah, that's totally fine. And that way it goes to the right place. And then, like, let me know that you did that. Okay, just be like, hey, by the way, I sent it in with the app, and I did, so that I can look and make sure that it went through and all that stuff. Okay, but yes, you can give online with the app, and as long as you earmark it for confirmation, and then just let me know, and I'll be like, all right, cool, thanks. Good question. And I am talked out, and I've gone over time. I'm sorry, but any questions at all about this stuff? Cool. Thank you guys for your patience. Thank you for being here with me and working with me on this. I know right now with school, it's been a lot. It's been nuts trying to get back to school. I've heard from a lot of families that are really stressed and overwhelmed. I feel you on that. And I'm praying for you like all the time. like every day I'm like praying for our families and for the middle schoolers and high schoolers, and I just really want you guys to know that you're loved. Jesus loves you. We love you here at St. James Lutheran Church. I hope that everything goes well. I hope that you can get into a good routine, and I am really looking forward to the next time I see your face, even if it's half covered by a mask. That's better than nothing in my book. So thank you for being here. You can still text me if you have questions or email me. You know how to get a hold of me. Thanks for joining us tonight, and that's it. God bless. Thank you.